All right, so this is Comics That Influence number 7, episode 7, part 2 of the
Yeah,
Kyra
part two, issue
Robin
one.
Ator. Yep. I have all the issues here, so we're
Hope it's
going
hope it's
through them.
Ator, not Ator. Could be Ator, could be
Well, we might
Ator. We
find out because
we're gonna reach out.
we're going to reach out to him. So right after this recording, I'm going to send episode 6, part 1 to
Hmm.
Mr. Robin Ator and see if he wants to come and talk more about it because we're super excited about this, are we not, Jake?
Well, it's definitely a rare thing to find a strong female character, a comic that was put out about her, multiple issues. Maybe 5, I think, that came out, and then 3 more that were unpublished but saw the light of day later in a trade paperback. So
Yeah,
we just admire independent creators, that have the wherewithal, however they do it, to put stuff out. And this is definitely a throwback to the days of the Jungle Queens.
hmm
And we spoke in our last episode about how it seems like this effort was inspired by Kageena and this what's the name of it? Um, Peerless
Peerless
Publishing.
Publications.
Yeah, they were sending out
Yeah,
these kind of like 4-page folded, mail
pamphlets.
order pamphlets that had some racy illustrations and some, ass kicking females heroes, and they would just kind of sell this, and I don't know if this is, like a fetish thing or a specialty thing. It's not really
Yeah,
that dirty, but it wasn't in the mainstream.
1950s it is.
Well, in the 1950s, this was probably considered, pretty like under the counter stuff. But by today's standards, I don't think so. And by the 80s, when this all came out, it was just looking for an audience, right? And we spoke about
Absolutely.
we spoke about the quality of the art. We did dive into the story, which you don't usually want to do if we're doing like a podcast where you're just kind of flipping through, because you're looking at pages and you're not really like zooming in. So,
Yeah.
so it's not fair to the reader to, like, get all into the story, but they can't really follow along at that kind of a view. Um, but it seems like the story is pretty well developed. They have this Southeast Asia um, setting. There's this jungle woman who's the daughter of Kageena. Her name is Kyra. She kicks a lot of ass. And then you have these guys that are moving in, trying to strip the area of their natural resources. You have the native people, and then you have this element of magic that they're introducing. um, I don't know how old Robin and his co-creators were at the time, but this is a real valiant, effort as far as self-publishing. Really nice art. We spoke about the good interplay between black and white. How there's a lot of action on the page, not too much standing around. We have our criticisms here and there, but you could pick anything apart. We're both art teachers or art instructors, and so we just want people that are making comics today to see best practices and just kind of benefit from all the material that's come before, so that when you're putting stuff.
One of the things I tell my students over and over and over again, your greatest number one tool towards being a successful artist is leaning into your mistakes. If you have this thing in your head, in your sketchbook, doodled on napkins, you got to sit down and start putting it into some kind of formula, because until you get to that point and you can see where you lack in your abilities, you're never going to get to the point that most people hope to achieve at the height of the people we admire's success. So we've established that this series definitely was in our assumptions, a back burner project, if you will. In other words, they had jobs, they had families, they had lives outside of this. They were getting Sunday afternoons with their buddies to be able to sit down and put these things together as other things. But to get into what we want to accomplish in this part two, is we just want to go through in a quick rapid succession of how the whole series ends up advancing. This is 85, which is really at that still hiding the trajectory going up for direct market black and white indie comics. So they're definitely riding it. So there's a lot of anxiousness, I think, that comes with it in getting it done and getting it out to market.
Mhm.
So we're going to just go ahead and jump in. So we dropped off here at Bar Room,
Yeah.
where the evil corporate witch has now finally arrived because her henchmen have no ability to capture Kyra and bring her to the evil corporate witch. So in page turn, this is pretty wild. Um, I read somewhere that this gal, I forget her name right now, um, is actually an alien. So
Okay.
I'm
I
trying to
think
find where that part is.
they called her J Bird or something.
Yeah,
But
there's I think two references to names or such, but yeah, she's definitely being unveiled as
oh, and
goes
yeah, her
along.
name is Here it is, Joanna. Her name is Johanna Starling.
Oh,
And
Starling, that's right, Starling,
right,
yeah,
I called her like the corporate enchantress or something
witch,
because she's running this
yeah,
big company where they want to do mineral extraction from the
right.
third world area in Tibet, in the Himalayas, but she's also you know, she's also got magical powers. In this next sequence, it looks like she shrinks Kyra down with a little
I
spell.
think she actually grows larger. So you have the gigantic women fetish too.
Right.
So you got cat fighting, you got strong, muscular women, you got women that grow larger. You know, we cover this in AC Comics when you bust out those copies, and we're looking at
Yeah.
them because they do bring a lot of to the game in the way of strong women. So you know, this
AC.
is they're hitting the beats. They're hitting the beats.
Yeah, we covered AC a little bit in a previous, I think, 2 episodes ago, and
Mhm.
they had their line of female
Yep.
superhero-ish stuff, and then they also had this line of reviving jungle queens, including Sheena, for
Cave
example,
girl.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Cave Girl. Yeah, well, here's Sheena herself.
Yeah. Yep.
And so
There you
they
go.
were doing reprints. This is a quarterly, so it's a pretty thick. And then they had in a different comic, we saw ads on the back for giantesses. This is something I just picked
Yes.
up, and this is another Sheena being put out by AC in 1992. So they were still kind of reusing and mining this, and I'm not sure looking at all the production how whether or not they redid all these halftone screens or not, but this is pretty nice stuff here. These stories
Yeah, there's a lot of good
they're
quality in that. With
originally
Kyra,
yeah.
I said this in the last episode, and I'm still going to hold to it as we keep moving through these issues. It feels sketchbook. In other words, there seems to be something that is happening very quickly with Robin and his partner Larry, who's taking on some of the writing duties. It would be great to find out how that all kind of works, but when we go through this, here we go into the next part. You got zombies now, or basically the undead or awoken.
Uh-huh.
So it's, they're hitting the beats on, trying to get, I think, a lot of those people who are already out there uh, connected to their book and character. And I think they do a really excellent job. It's very fast paced. There's no standing around talking about running into zombies, um, and they get in there. The only thing I would have to say, I do get a bit frustrated just as an artist, is I wish some of these panels were larger, just for like the quality of the graphicness of what action or something is going on. It seems everything has a similar sense of importance and reads well,
You
but then for comic books, why not have this panel a lot larger just to have that
you
big old whacking on them?
you looking for splash pages here?
No, not splash pages, just this panel I wish was at least that big, you know,
Uh-huh.
giving us a little bit more punch for what's going on because it's very linear, for
Yeah,
three
there is kind of
heroes
like
here.
a protracted battle sequence between her and this undead guy. Let's see, we go one,
Mhm.
2 pages, and then we're 3, 4 pages, 5. Yeah, we're still going. Um, and then I think this wraps it up. So you got
Yeah.
the Enchantress, Johanna Starling, Enchantress Queen, and then she brings to life these undead guys. Kyra
Hmm.
kicks their butt and knocks this guy's skull off his head. Yeah, so it looks like it looks like Robin is picking up the pace as you're moving through
Yep.
the internal pages and the sequential stuff. Maybe you have a deadline and you want to get stuff out. Let's see what else. Let's see what's in the back of the book now.
Yeah.
Um,
The other thing too is, we definitely want to be mindful of time. We had talked about this. This was actually done before anything else, and it probably was, a part of a pamphlet when it came down to, the distribution, just the same as
well,
Kageena.
it says right here, the following short is
Yep.
an earlier appearance of our Golden Main Lass from her formative days, obscure underground release, one of her first encounters with a corrupt mercenary. So this was pre Kyra, and
Yeah.
I guess this is like a zine or output or fan fiction or something.
Yep.
Um, and yeah,
Well, it's
so this
definitely it's definitely giving. It's like a sketch. Well, like a character development type of thing. Like we've got all these ideas, costume, hair, a lack of costume, kind of her attitude, where she's at. Now these panels are huge. Um, so they
yeah, big
almost look
difference.
like they might have been, well, they might have been smaller and then just blown up. I don't know,
Hmm.
but
Right.
it works really well.
Yeah, if it was just a zine, this could be, but the page format is the right format. Um,
Right.
yeah, and he's definitely just having her going through lots of different poses here. There's not too much story so far. Um, let's see.
So here,
This goes in.
I want to jump now over into issue 2.
We're definitely getting some gratuitous upskirt stuff here.
Sure, sure.
We'll joust again another day. Yeah. So yeah, you're popping open number 2. Let me go with you here. I'm just
Do you have
finishing up.
2?
Uh,
Because
I think I have 3. I don't have 2, but I'll look on screen with you.
now you can already see. I really like this cover a lot. I love color pencils, but I as well as I'm a scratchboarding aficionado inker, I also love color pencils and the layering quality that they get. So we got a jungle talking over here. I don't think I got into this one, but you can already see um, some definition that's coming into Robin's work here. So this is kind of exciting. And then there's an introduction to a new character. I get
Yeah, this
Evil
is
Doing
a winter scene here. There is
in the
some
Himalayas.
yeah, there's some space on the page not used. And is that a face I see off to the right?
Yes, this is a spiritual leader.
Okay.
We're going to come into introduction, but yeah, good call. So she's up in the Himalayas, and she's very well dressed for the occasion.
Yeah,
So,
right. In her two piece.
all right. So, yeah. Then we
There's
got this.
there's the undead guy again.
No, this is a weird female. like alien creature. Like I said, there's this element that comes in that she's being chased down, hunted down for
Mhm.
the corporation because Kyra's her job is to protect the the jungle from the mining and the mineral. Uh,
Yeah, they're environmental terror. They're trying to take all the mining from under the ground. They mentioned.
yeah.
So we have a battle sequence here,
Yep.
and yeah, some of those pages are different as far as the black and white. Maybe that's just because it's a snow scene, but then you're starting to see
Yeah.
some spot blacks on the next page on the right there.
Yeah. And then the modeling on the muscle structure and the bodies and stuff. So yeah. And then there's this really nice thing, and he does this. I'll even throw this up. There's a differentiation in the demons talking in the panel, so it has a more
Yeah,
like
growly.
calligraphic, yeah, like,
No, that's
that type
indicating
of thing. So
a growly voice. Yeah.
yeah, very nice addition uh, to storytelling. And then we're introduced to the Mountain Man Mystic, which is I am Blickus. I am Blickus is this
Just sort of like
character, and
a gothic arch in the shape of a panel, right?
yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Design once again, design's great. Panel
N-
designing. It's a
No
great
ads in
movie.
these
Yeah,
comics.
a lot of flashbacking. No, no. So
Yeah.
there's a comic relief element that also comes in. She goes into these, not too much of a spoiler, but a kind of a dreamlike state.
Uh-huh.
But then like I said, it's not completely hammered out, or just telling us straight out. It's showing what it needs as it goes along. But the Adams family um, couple, their mom and dad, um,
American
they
God. Oh,
show
that's
up.
yeah, that's Gomez.
Gomez and Morticia. And then there's some sort of robot.
So this is
And
not the antagonist from the Johanna Starling anymore. This is like all kinds of other spiritual demons and stuff.
yeah, there's well, so she has this goddess, it's Parvati, who has been with her all through her life. So and this issue seems to have a lot of like flashback background in their relationship, and you got the East Indian mysticism coming in, and I think it's done really well. I think it's also done really well for Jungle Queen Princess thing, where it's not heart of Africa and leading natives, all that kind of like colonialism. This is really about her kind of relationship with this goddess, um, and it's pretty cool. But as it is that there's a dreamlike state that's coming through of this.
Right. Yeah. So we see some black and white balance there. I saw some of the plants, the plants on the foliage, right, coming through. This
Yeah,
you want a lot of that for a good jungle book, right?
yeah.
Uh,
But once again, the absolute beauty in the figurization, the understanding anatomy and how it moves and flows, and it is just these fingers and the fingernails, and it's just he's showing what he knows, and he's showing it off, and it's like I said, it's done really well.
hmm
Um, so then she comes back into the morning, and she's kind of walking around the hillsides.
Right. And you got a lot of small panels there, and there's a lot on the page. just there's really a lot there.
Yeah, yeah. I can't say that I ever get lost. I mean, other than trying to bring the whole together, which is being unraveled to us as we move along with Kyra. Um, it's all pretty much right here and there. Great facial expressions, really nice. So these are some bugs that she's going. So these are all trials, just so you know. These are all these trials as she's going up the side of the mountain,
Hmm.
and then runs
Being
into
tested.
this woman is deathly tired, and she summons up enough strength to fight. So she's sort of at wit's end and struggling, and then being constantly challenged, and then
Maybe a
you
little
know,
iron fist in there, right?
yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot
Going
of,
up to
lot of, yeah.
going up the mountain to Kunlun.
Well, it's the hero's journey,
Right.
Joseph
The
Campbell and
Odyssey.
everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's got all that. So Iamblichus, the wise wizard man, she goes to find and meet with him. Um, one
But
of the
it's
things he introduces is this washi thing, which I don't know if is maybe like a alcohol bled marker. It's a weird. It doesn't
uh
quite sit like an ink wash, but I don't know if you've ever done like alcohol and marker, and you can kind of bleed them like a watercolor kind of thing. Um, just he introduces that zip tone. And I'm making
yeah.
comment that as he's moving through the issues, he's growing and finding materials to play with. And then once the comic is printed, he's able to then obviously check and see what's working and not working. And hence the mistakes, things don't always work the way you thought they were going to, but you learn from them and you keep moving.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems a little odd that you go from issue one, the the A block to this, and there's no mention of the enchantress Johanna Starling, and she's just on pause, and she's going through all this other kind of spiritual odyssey thing, and other enemies, right?
Yeah, I think she's an immature character, Kyra, so she's not formed yet in a established protector and guard of the realm. I think she's got a bit of wandering, you know, feeling and stuff. But this is where this ends up getting into. She's with Iamblichus, and then there's this discussion of Parvati, this goddess, and then she's called out to her, in an impatient way, and then Parvati comes in. Um, there is, and I don't want to get into it, which could be interesting for another time, but he does have a second character named Sam Clench, which another strong gal, lives at home with her parents. And of course, we don't want to miss out on the photographs of Kyra. So this is the inspiration, which is, oh Lord, I forget her name too.
Yeah, the
Misty.
model on
Yeah,
the
Misty, I
the mo-
think.
on the back of issue one too.
Oh, they're
If
on the
you
back of every issue.
Oh, they're on the back of
So,
every. Let me see. Okay,
yep,
yeah.
yep, yep, yep. So she was definitely
No, I'm
an
seeing some
inspiration.
paintings later on. Issue three has a painting, but yeah, what's her name here? I think they credit her.
I
Her
think it's in the
name
back
is
of.
Lori Walkup.
Yep, yep. There you go. Yeah, Lori Walkup. Yep. So
Maybe it's Walkup. Yeah.
yeah. So out of all the covers, this is my favorite. I think this is just ringing all the bells. Definitely color, balance, figurativization, really kind of
Yeah.
capturing. So for like that third follow-up issue, they're going strong. So there's
Okay.
no complaints there. So if you've gotten issue one and two, you're definitely picking up issue number three. And then there is a lot of, you know, background explanation uh,
Yeah,
in
I don't
the
know
Kyra.
if this woman is good or ill, but she's drawn very well. I don't know if she's friend or
The
foe.
goddess, the goddess.
Yeah, on the cover here, yeah.
Well, in Eastern deities go, there's no real good and bad. They have both in the universe of what we deem as mortals as good and bad. So this is a goddess that you know, worship is one way of going about it, but it's more like a protector and somebody who would hopefully guide and help move things along for Kyra's development. Because she's just a girl struggling around. We also don't know what happened to mom and dad, so that
Uh-huh.
could be revealed, that type of thing. But this issue is very much devoted to her relationship with Parvati. I also have to say he does me one in expanding the page panel count and dynamic. So I'm really loving now these page layouts. Great spotting of black, but the flow, we're not getting, even when we get into little tiny things like Kyra here, we still have something large and there's a really decent panel there. So, uh, we're not dealing with 9 panels per page. We're getting a bit.
Yeah. So
So once
yeah,
again, like I said, he's hitting the sweet spot.
I'm here on page one. It's maybe a little. Oh wow, my issue I see is punctured. Oh well. Um
What do you got? A hole in it?
yeah. So oh yeah, the front cover looks like it got stabbed with a knife. Oh, it's going through all the pages. Yeah, this thing got something really big fell on it. Oh well. Um so she's praying to the goddess, she's worshiping the goddess, she's down on her knees begging to the goddess. Lots of art here of the goddess. The goddess is drawn very interestingly. Um, so maybe Kyra has her muse here or her deity. She's floating up in the air. Um, and then we get into warlike apes tribe. Um, and here's some action now. Wait, no, not yet. A huntress, alien the sphere. Yeah, this is a little bit heady, like where this is going. I'm not reading every little panel, but
Right.
there's this, the imagery is a lot of back and forth, and then she's going to this old elder guy here again.
Yeah, Iamblichus. Yeah,
Iamblichus.
there's not a lot of divulging or concretely stating that this is who she is and where she's at. It's a lot of unveiling. So there's things being revealed to us, and then of course it gets stored into our little memory bank as like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, where is this going to take her? So, and yeah, as you said, now we're still waiting on, the corporate witch to show up again.
Yeah, she's out. She's still out there from issue one, right?
Yeah,
I
but
mean, the
this
thing is,
page
like,
here,
the thing is, when you're doing issue one, you might not know, you might not know like what the longevity is going to be. So you're just trying to. I know that feeling. And then when you come back and
yeah,
you're in issue two and issue three, you're like, oh wow, I really, I'm
there's
expanding on other images.
so much up you're up against in the 80s and 90s pre-internet to get any kind of understanding of what and how well you're doing. Uh, so to be able to sit down and write 8 issues and plot it all out and hope that you would get out there, man, you got to get these things into distribution. You got to print 1,000 or 5,000. You got to sell half of those to get some cash in your pocket to be able to spend some money. I think there was some money had been made because you look at these 2 pages and all of that now noodling and fine lining, it's really coming in that there's some time being spent on this project now. And so I would assume, and we mentioned this in the deep diving in Commandy, even Jack was sort of wavering for the first 8 issues. Are they going to keep me? The
Right.
sales making it? Does the fans like it? And when we get to, I think it was issue 9 of Commandy, man, he just boom explodes. So
Yeah.
I think there's something happening here for Robin and Larry that they're taking more, but they're introducing more. Now we're in Japan.
Yeah, and I do see that we're going to get back to our Johanna Starling character. Um,
Hmm.
some interesting shots of Kyra with like some real defined abs. Here's Kyra jumping off a cliff, butt naked.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, then we see this demoness character again
Hmm.
with the pointy boobs, and
Yep.
she's coming back up to this big corporate headquarters here, and we're seeing Johanna Starling there. She's just gonna shoot a bolt of demon energy and destroy this demon. The demon's gonna be begging for mercy. She says, "Don't drool on the silk, dear." Um, yeah, I'm seeing a little maybe Bernie Wrightson influence. I noticed when they were in the Japanese lab, there was some of that
Yeah.
Frankenstein lab quality.
Yeah.
And I
I agree.
also when they were in the jungle, some of the grass looked like maybe some Wrightson influence, and
Yeah.
in turn, Frazetta and all those other guys. Um,
Franklin Booth. If you really want to get to
yeah,
the source, Franklin Booth is your man.
right. So you got now they're here. They're let's say they're back in the jungle, and Kyra's just walking around here. She's interfacing with all the people. She's part of the natural landscape. Uh, and there's just some plowing going on. And then here comes this plane, and then it goes down in the Himalayas. Oh, this is the Japanese characters went down on the plane, and they're talking in Japanese, but looks like the guy died, and this powerful Japanese woman now she's throwing his dead body against the wall. Um, it says she's got some kind. Oh, is she a robot? I think.
Yep.
Yeah, she's a robot. So there's a Japanese action robot, and she's now loose in the Himalayas after a plane crash and looking for the laboratory. And the robot wants revenge on mainlanders. Uh, Meanwhile, Kyra is hanging out with the Mahaburi, and she's a blacksmith, and she's plowing, and she's doing all this land stuff. And then some entities try sneaking up on her, and she whacks the guy with a hoe. Um, they've got masks on their head. They're hardly more than boys. They're trying to take her down. They're hanging off of her body. They're hanging on her hip, and she dispatches them. They say, "Get out, white woman. You don't belong here. You don't live here. Don't make us repeat. Just get out, American. You're not like us, and we don't need you." She says, "Well, maybe she'll just hang out and wait till these guys cool off." This face right here, this panel
I was gonna make.
looks like it's a person.
It's
Like it's
really well
drawing some.
done.
Yeah, it looks like it's drawing somebody. She says, "Okay, I'm going." She leaves. They take off their masks. They look like there's like these Asian dudes,
Young guys,
and
yeah, kids.
yeah, she's pretty and in a pasty kind of way. I'm not going to wash my own shirts. She's not a real member of the village. I think they're saying some sexist stuff there. She's only planting for harvest. So they're there discussing her. She doesn't even want a husband, you know. Think you could handle her? They're going back to some kind, this other character. Yeah, so I definitely see the Japanese influence. This panel of this one guy, I'm showing it a little bit closer, but it reminds me of like the Forbidden Kingdom, where they have that parallel hatching, perpendicular hatching.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But he's mixing stuff. You got some real little panels here. She should be ashamed of worrying more about winter stores than about old friends back when I knew. Maybe they'll tell me to take a flying leap, and then all of a sudden she spots the Japanese robot lady. This is kind of a cool presentation in shadow. The
Yeah.
Japanese robot lady says, "Mainlander."
Yeah.
uh, Meanwhile, so she's stalking Kyra. Kyra goes back to the village. She's grabbing this young boy, pulling him around the corner. What was that business in the field for? Talk to me. You know I've always been your friend. Why the masks, friends? Why are four guys with better things to do annoying me? And oh, this was a good panel. They're showing the village, good establishing shot.
Really nice. Really
Yeah,
nice.
and they're walking through the village. It looks like the kid is saying that the head of the village, Samkai, has a problem. And let's see, back at Kyra's temple, we have this little robot scorpion. And it looks like the big cat comes upon it, attacks it, and it zaps the cat. And so this is kind of like a little R2D2 moment. It's making like some little whistling noises. I don't know why that's thrown in there, but oh, maybe this is a robot companion of the Japanese robot lady. Maybe like a little
Oh, the
scout drone or
bird?
something. The
There's a
scorpion
bird
thing.
too. There's a little bird, yeah.
Right, there's a little bird there too. I don't know if the bird is friend or foe. The bird is a little songbird. So now we're here at this some kind of guy, and he says, "I only wish my people knew that one little blonde girl is not a whole country. She's worked her share of the land since she could walk. These people are afraid of the outside, and they'll take it out on anyone different." So then Kyra appears at the door. Now there's a kind of like a worm's eye view
Worm's eye view, yeah.
of them looking
Man.
up and talking. So you don't see that just thrown in out of nowhere. That looks like
Mm.
photo reference, maybe. But maybe we'll find out.
Yeah.
So yeah, some of this is like, I mean, there's not too much action here as far as like physical, but there's some confrontational stuff where Kyra is not sure if she's wanted in the village. All of a sudden, everyone's scurrying because the Japanese robot lady shows up, and the robot is spitting sparks.
Yeah,
It's
she's Sister Transistor.
I am Sister Transistor. I am deaf. It is a robot. It
Great.
talks, but I can't understand. My sense is dead mainland killers. So Kyra gives her a kick, and what is that? Korean, Japanese? Her skin is just
Japanese.
hanging in there. Wait is my moment, and boom, she harangues her in the face. And then she's ripping off her skin. Her feet are missing. She's just got these like stilts, and it looks like they're standing off. Be here for the startling secrets of Sister Transistor in Kyra 4.
Yeah.
Come on, Kyra, you can do it. And everybody is egging her on.
So you know you've made it in the indie market back in the 80s, 90s as well, when you're getting fan mail. This is,
Yeah,
we've reviewed that for Commandy as well. We had gotten to the point where we were looking at, what people were saying and obviously what they're publishing in the way of receiving feedback from readers and
yeah.
fans. So I have not
They
yet poured over this yet, but I am interested to see what praises and critiques they were given.
Yeah, they continue the letters on the back cover. So they're printing
Yeah,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 letters. Yeah, and some of these
ooh, look
names
at
are
this.
interesting. Jerry Greenberg, Bronx, New York. Yeah. Oh, that's the back cover painting. Yeah, that
Yeah,
is a painting credited to Marcus Boas, Boas.
pretty sweet.
So yeah, I
So
don't know
Jake,
if
I
that.
just want to say we've definitely gone over the 35-minute mark. We want to keep these bite size. We did kind of say in the beginning that we wanted to get through, but we did not get through everything, which is fine. There most definitely could and most definitely should be a part 3. I don't believe we're going to get into that too soon because I'm going to reach out to Robin and see if he would like to join us for part
Yeah,
3.
that would be good.
So that would be great because we still have issue 4 5, and then this one, which is the 6, 7, and 8, which is a trade
Right.
for
But
it.
I
So,
think we got the gist. We went
oh,
really in depth.
absolutely.
Went really in depth
Absolutely.
to the first half of issue one, and then we kind of went a little quicker through the rest. I see this backup features called Sam Clench. Sam Clench made a muscle, and she's definitely a power lifter that's lifting weights at the gym and all this stuff. So this is an
Yeah.
interesting
Yep.
backup.
Yep.
And so there's definitely like a realm here. There's definitely like a little movement afoot. Um, and
Worst
we
case scenario, I will, if Robin's not interested in talking, on air, which is completely respectful, maybe you and I can just put a long list of questions together, and then we could just the two of us review the answers to those questions and then see the rest of
yeah,
these issues as we go from there. But anyways, we love Kyra, I just have to say, and it's a great piece of history as well. But do you have anything else, Jake?
no, just a very interesting thing that was kind of lost in the on the highway of comic history. And I do have a couple of other comics that I pulled that we'll go over in the future that have strong female protagonists, but Kyra really distinguished herself by by saying she's muscular, she's strong, unapologetically a little bit more bulky, and so that definitely influences our comic making as we're doing Turbo Pit Fighter and some of our other series that will be coming up after that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. We're going to keep this going, this comics that influence us. Hopefully it influences you. If you're making a comic, make comments. Please, if there's something you want us to check out or, maybe we don't
Something we
know.
missed.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
back out there.
What
But
did
yeah,
we
we
miss?
have yeah. We have a lot to share. So because we've got quite a long um, catalog of stuff that we've collected over the years, or at least have come in contact with. So, with that being said, until next week, my friend, until next Sunday.
Yes, sir.